Hello everyone, and welcome to Every Episode Reviews. If you don't know, what we do here is basically, before I do my big official anime review, we look at every single episode in that anime and we just kind of do individual episode reviews. And I just watched The Princess Loves Bones. Very interesting. I'm trying to do more new anime, and there was nothing airing right now that I wanted to jump into too much. So I was like, maybe I'll watch something that just ended. And yeah, I chose that. Just kind of a random show on Crunchyroll. And yeah, it's about, it's mostly, the main character is the guy. I don't know his name. He's just kind of your average anime character. Everything from his fucking haircut to his voice. He's kind of just a little bit. My phone vibrated. He's kind of just a little bit whiny, and then there's this other girl, and they kind of have a romantic interest. He kind of hinted at that, and at the same time, they're not friends. But he's in high school, as it's established, and she's old enough to have a fiance, and I guess she's cheating on her fiance. And basically, for whatever reason, they're hanging out. This episode is kind of just a day in the life of, a lot of anime do that, where it's like episode 1 is like a day in the life of our main characters, episode 2, let's get the ball rolling on the story. And yeah, before we get into the story of this anime, it looks great. A lot of anime, sometimes, like, it'll be very epic shit going on, but they'll just, like, it's not that epic as shit, but the music is epic as shit. And it's like I almost got that here, but I was like, this is like not that abnormal, but the music is like acting like we're witnessing the rebirth of Christ. And that being said, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was very good. The idea of the show is the girl has a fascination with bones. They go digging up bones, and then after that they walk into like a crime scene, and she's very smart. She knows her stuff about bones. It's her passion, weird passion. But you can't knock it. And then the end of the episode, it kind of just goes the way they want. We understand that she knows her shit, and she's right. And, I have a feeling she'll be a very cool character. I don't understand her passion, though. Why? There's got to be a reason why. If there's not a reason why, I'm going to be pissed. That being said, thank you for watching. That's just my impressions on the first episode. It was an interesting little first episode. I'm curious to see where it goes. And hopefully we'll have a review at the end of these. Thank you for watching. Episode 2 in Bone Princess, whatever I forget the name already. But watching the show, very interesting. First off, we got the opening. The opening I liked, just the imagery of, the skeleton heads and or skulls, I should say, and I like the song. So I think I'll be able to watch the opening 12 or 11 more times, or how many more times. Other than that, in this episode, basically, they find this little kid, and, it traces back to a big mystery. And I think it's going to be like mystery of the week kind of episode, kind of show. I just want to get the backstory of why this teenager is hanging out with this older chick. At first I thought, maybe that romance line, I read it wrong, maybe they're brother and sister, maybe they're family. I kind of doubt that at this point. But, they have some kind of connection, because when the whole murder thing was happening, God, which was crazy, there was the murder going on. I love how the handprint, the hospital thing, it all led back to this. This one was very well constructed. I like this episode a lot more than the other one. And, so basically, we had this mom and this dad, and the dad obviously was like a maniac, and the mom just wanted to save her kids, but died. It was intense with that kid dying. Not the kid dying per se, but the baby almost dying. I was actually very on the edge of my seat, like fuck, I thought it might die actually. But the one kid, he was like a black belt out of nowhere. I like that. Was a little bit of an asshole. Speaking of assholes, he had like a friend who knew the girl, and that's how they traced it back. That was kind of Deus Ex Machina a little bit, but whatevers. I didn't mention in the last episode, but that whole animation when she puts her glove on, and the music and the cherry blossom or cherry tree, whatever the plant was that was to symbolize our bones underneath. I love that animation with the colors and just all the bones around her. I've seen examples of that where it's like the main lead is going into their like form. I guess. Not that it's a transformation, but it's some. But yeah, I really liked the episode. In the end, she called him by his real name and not boy, so I think that was their kind of character development. Now that he was in danger, they see they care about each other. With that being said, thank you for watching. Am I still doing scores? I forgot for the first episode. First episode, I give it like 3, 4. I'd probably give this one a 4 because I thought this one was really fucking good. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you on episode 3. I don't know how to say the fucking girl's name. Beautiful Bones, Sakurako, something like that. It's like, I remember it was something like Sakura, and then it was like, ooh, oh, blah, blah, blah. Anime names are hard, I'm sorry. They just are, especially for someone like me, who pronounces stuff wrong, and gets extremely messed up by vowels, like that many vowels. That being said, episode 3, this episode, we're not getting like a mystery every time. This one was, but this was more character driven, I guess. Basically, we find a body in the woods. The body belongs to the girl from the other episode, but in her episode, she was kind of just a plot tool. This time, she's getting a backstory and kind of conveniently walks herself into the story again. The bones belong to her grandmother at first. When this episode started, I really wasn't feeling it. I was just kind of like, the fucking main dude just kind of pisses me off. Like, it's like every other character is like almost being stooped down a little bit, so Sakurako or whatever her name is can kind of bring herself up a little bit, like make herself a little bit better. And I don't think that's, diminishing the other characters, especially the main characters, so your emphasis, like the actual cool character is cool. But I don't know, she her little animation thing when she put on her glove, that was like they shortened the hell out of that. I also watched the ending theme thing for the first time. That was pretty weird. They're always fucking naked in the ending animations. Like, I feel like half the time it's like the most popular female and she's gonna be naked. In this episode, though, her grandmother, they found her bones after the police said it was a suicide. Her grandmother takes care of her grandfather, who has dementia, and that to be honest, I was kind of hitting a little personal with me. My grandfather, before passing, suffered from dementia, and me and my family took care of him. So just like how she'd throw the words out like daycare or something like that, that got me. So yeah, my grandmother didn't take care of him though. So we did. My grandmother wasn't around. Off topic. So they get this. They go back to the site because Sakurako is introduced to the granddaughter. I don't know her name. Just our female character. and possible love interest for the main dude, but I have no idea what's going on. I hope there's no interest. There's almost like a little bit of like they're kind of trying to ship the main dude and Sakurako or whatever her name is. And I don't think, no, because there's an age difference and they're obviously not right for each other. So, and Sakurako, I thought when she yelled out someone's name, I thought it was his name, but there's like a one letter difference. So she might like just be like weirdly bringing him around for some really weird reason. But yeah, I like some of the bone stuff, like they'll bring up. It would be amazing if this was made by Studio Bones. I don't think it is though. They bring up a lot of the bone, like how your body like basically it broke down, like how it turns into like how it gets eaten by animals and like maggots and all this life, and that's what happens to you after you die. If you know we didn't have coffins and all this other stuff, but we do. I was still on the main thing. So we find out that when we retrace our steps, that the grandmother didn't kill herself. She was basically just kind of going for a jogging trail, like enjoying the view. And there's a scenery that her grandfather, he did paintings, and there's a painting that she liked, obviously, because she went to where he originally painted it, and that's where she fell off the cliff and unfortunately died. So yeah, it was getting like a lot. It got pretty sappy. It got a little bit sappy, and you know, plucked a couple of my heartstrings. Especially since you know it was getting a little personal there, which I don't know if I necessarily was needed at fucking 12 a.m. On a Saturday, or I guess Sunday, whatever day it is. So yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what to give this episode, like 3 out of 5. You know, it was pretty good. I don't know if I'll watch another episode because I need to get sleep. But that being said, thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. So, just watched Beautiful Bones, episode 4. This was kind of a part 1 to a 2-part episode. I don't know if they're going to have a couple of those. And yeah, in general, I'm just kind of uninterested with what they're doing here. Basically, the cop, he has an old middle school friend, I guess that's a thing. And basically, this friend, he's a rich guy, and he's cursed from like 3 angles. Everyone in his family dies, he has a cursed dog, and he's got a fucking cursed painting. This guy isn't gonna live that long. And so basically, the cop invites, you know, I don't know her fucking name, even though it's in the title, Sakurako, and her investigation is the name of the fucking series we're reviewing, but, basically he invites her because she knows everything, so he just brings him along so the plot can go. They come, they meet this cursed dog, he's a normal fucking dog, and then, he kind of leaves the house for a bit and talks to a mysterious figure. He's probably up to something. He's probably behind this whole curse or something. It was probably to get inheritance and money, because that's probably why he's rich as fuck. And it's not all that exciting. And it was poorly executed and kind of poorly paced as I'm pacing through my home at this very moment. But it was just kind of poorly, I didn't like it, all that much. It was just kind of boring, and, you know, Sakurako, her character only goes so far, but when we're having just kind of a normal episode, and she's, like, being all like, I'm too good for this, and I'm perfect, I'm so interesting, you motherfucking living people are just lucky to be within my space, because I only fill it with dead people. I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of it. But hopefully the episode 5 part 2 will clear up some of my questions. It'll be badass. And I'll see you then. Thank you for watching as always. Boom. So we got episode 5, and yeah, I think this episode kind of won me back. I noticed with these fucking investigations, it's like, the build-up's kind of boring, but then when you get the thing, you know, it's a little bit more worth it. I don't think this needed to be 2 episodes, though, and if it did, they could have found a way to make it a little bit more interesting. But basically, we find out about the whole curse, and the paintings and the dog. I meant to say in the last thing, like, why do you have this painting? Why would you take in this dog if you're so afraid of being cursed? Why would you take in these cursed objects? So yeah, first off, we find out that the painting has basically mold on it that's poisonous mold, and being around it can kill you, and that's what's been happening with his family, and yeah, that's pretty crazy. And from that point, he, basically there was something going on with the painting, and that's what was killing people, but in the end, this guy didn't even believe in the curse. He was suicidal. He was suicidal because he was stressed from work. I had that theory where he was like kind of part of this weird conspiracy. Nope, but he is suicidal. He tries to fucking kill himself. He's like, oh, you're right. You smart investigation lady. I'm just gonna go smoke a cigarette, and by that I mean I'm gonna go try to chop my leg off. So at this point, he tries to kill himself, and Sakurako, I don't know her fucking actual name, she breaks down, hey, I know you just tried to kill yourself. And this guy's reasoning for doing this doesn't make much sense to me. Basically, his company is gone, he, like, financially is screwed, and so he was like, you know what, I'm gonna kill myself and put that on my, wife, who will be a single parent with probably not nearly as good of a job as me. That'll solve it. Like, what? But I like what they mentioned about the color green and all this other stuff. If you stay around after the credits, there's a scene where basically, they kind of, broke down like, oh, that painter guy, there's something fishy about him, and there's a nice celebration and all that. I like that. Also, it's like the first time, Sakurako, there's a reason why she's bringing around this fucking weird teenager dude, who's your average bland anime character. The reason being, like, obviously someone close to Sakurako died, and he, like, reminds her of him. Because we kind of see that in the opening a little bit too. That's probably not the actual thing. There's probably a lot more depth than that. Overall, both, if you were counted 2 parts and one big thing, I give it like a 3 or 4 out of 5, and that's my water pressure. Yeah, so I might be taking a little break from the show because I have places to be soon, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch anime there, but as soon as I get back from my trip, I will hopefully get back on the show. If not, I might do a couple episode reviews tonight. That being said, thank you for watching. You're fucking awesome as always. Thank you for watching, and with that, I leave you. So, Beautiful Bones, episode 6. I really fucking like this one. It was, okay, we took a break from the main characters, and it was kind of just like, the side characters get to do stuff, which, I'm sorry, is a wonderful gimmick. Especially when our main lead, not the chick, the dude, is so fucking boring. That being said, they basically, the one girl, I'm forgetting her name, just that one side girl, she's the side girl, she basically saw this suicide and didn't know if it was an actual suicide, and then there was a little message left with it, and in that, an assumed to be wedding ring, which we all know turned out to not be a wedding ring. And, I knew this teacher character was important because he was in the opening. I was like, God damn. And him and the girl were, like, flirting, so I don't know, Japan, what's your deal with that? Also, your deal with suicide, because there's a lot of suicide storylines in anime, but, I think And this was a very a lot of talk about suicide in this episode. Not like the best subject, but we got different perspectives of it, and I enjoyed the discussion. Um, that's one of those things where I don't think I'll ever have a good stance. Um, but I enjoyed seeing other people's, where the teacher was kind of like, that's not your right to make, and the girl was like, I think human nature is to, not want to see people die, so I'm gonna fight for that. Even if I don't know this person, I'm gonna try my best. Yeah, and this was a beautiful episode, just like with the fireworks and like the bridge and just like, oh, so colorful. And then when we finally got to the main character and S, I'm just gonna call her S. When we finally got to them, it was like, oh, I wanted to see them because they were missing, not the guy, the girl. I still don't know why they're hanging out. I don't know why this sensei person is, cool with this girl. And why they were like flirting by the end of the episode. But whatever, Japan. You do you, boo boo. Um, uh, and yeah, it was just a really pretty episode. I like the discussion. I like kind of the reveal, like, oh, this was this completely other thing, and it wasn't. I love how fucking when when she solves the case, everyone's just like, yeah, sure, this was kind of almost an official police investigation, but fuck it, you're smart, you cracked the case, let's go. So yeah, that she did say, oh, this is just speculation, but I guess that's good enough. That being said, I'm gonna give this episode a 4 out of 5. I actually really, really, really like this one. Cause it was pretty and touched places. That's all. That's all an epic episode can do. It can touch you and look good. And the ending song I really like. That being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on episode 7. Bye. Alright, we're reviewing episodes 7 and 8 of Beautiful Bones. I'm just gonna review these ones together real fast. In short, these were okay. This again was a very strange choice for a 2-episoder. Basically, there's this weird high school project thingy that what's his name has. Miss S, as I've been calling her. She accompanies him. They rabbit hole their way into finding some human bones, and there's this whole story, and blah, blah, blah. And I noticed one thing. There's a lot of just, like, standing around and talking in this show. It will, like, have a lot of backstory, but that backstory will just be via conversations, and I think we need more imagery. And, it's not moving all that much. It's very still, the series. And that's how I felt with these 2 episodes. It was very still. It was very flat. This backstory was kind of interesting, but I didn't care, And this was 2 episodes. Like, really? I don't fucking, I don't think they should be doing 2-episode things, because it hasn't been working out. And, yeah. I don't have much to say. I'll give these 2 episodes like a 2 out of 5, each of them. Yeah. With that, thank you for watching, and with that, I leave you. Okay, so Beautiful Bones, episode 9. I've been away a little while. I even got a haircut since the last episode. Yeah, and to be honest, it's really just waning my interest here. This episode is it's not a mystery really at all. It's another grandmother episode. We go from the chick from Noragami, that's what I'm gonna call her, because she looks like her. We go from her grandmother, we go back to her, and she's just, we get some thing going on there, and then we got the boys. I'm just gonna call him the boy, because that's what our main character calls him. we go to his grandmother, and there's a big story there, and, you know, it's just kind of whatever, and then even Sakurako, or however you pronounce her name, even her grandmother is getting a lot of screen time, and there's a lot of grandmother hospital death stuff, and it's just like, holy shit. And then there's this really weird ending, like, we're 9 episodes in, and what was that? What was that? She grew butterfly wings and there was a red planet. Like, what is going on? I didn't like this episode at all. I really didn't. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. What the fuck? Yeah, that being said, thank you for watching. We got 10, 11, 12, 3 episodes left, so about 25% to go. After that, hopefully, we'll get the big series review and go on to the next anime. Thank you for watching. Episode 10 in Beautiful Bones, Sakuro's investigation. I'm just gonna get all, what we got, 10, 11, 12, 3 episodes left. I'm just gonna review these back to back, and hopefully we can get this series done, and we can move on to the actual review, and then move on to the next anime. But, yeah, this one was, it's another 2-parter. We've had like 3 of those, so that's like half the series are these 2-parters, and like, I'm almost preferring the mystery of the day kind of thing. Okay, so basically the teacher character, he's back, they're out exploring, then they find a dead body, oh, surprise. And then the teacher, Sensei, I'm just gonna call him Sensei, we learn why he has this weird fascination for plants, but before that he gets a call saying one of his students is missing, and this is shortly after, not shortly after, but after another student disappeared, and they're all like sisters. They're like 3 best friends who call each other sisters. And so they go to the first girl's house, they act like the fucking police, and they like investigate, and Sakura, she just fucking acts like she owns the place, you know, she's like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, ha ha ha. They're just like, who the fuck are you, get out of our house. But yeah, they get a trail, and that leads them to the other girl's house, and she has shitty parents too, and they start realizing that, this is because of a certain person. It's the person who was behind the paintings in the earlier episode. That's probably a lot of paintings in the show, but there's a conspiracy. I think we're gonna find out in the next episode, and it's all gonna be underway. But yeah, and that whole butterfly thing, I think basically the serial killer is telling these girls, these innocent girls, that they'll be butterflies, and I think he's like cutting up their back all weird. Pretty fucked up shit. He's basically acting like a cult leader, brainwashing them. And, you know, Sakura and the gang kind of bring this girl back a little bit back to the world of norm, because they find her friend character. And I think that weird butterfly scene we saw was only in her head. Hopefully that would make more sense. That's what that girl saw. What else? There's a nice fan service scene in the one girl's room, just straight ass shot. This fucking boy, and there's still no fiance, and he's like getting all excited, like, oh, she invited me to dinner. Oh, I'm so happy. And I'm just like, dude, what? I hate this fucking BS. And then they broke and entered basically into the one girl's house. They're just like, I'm in charge. Fucking, they're just like, who the fuck are you? But that's kind of where the episode ends. We're just still kind of figuring things out, and, you know, this girl's kind of gonna start, hopefully, go back to the world of norm, and hopefully just kind of tell us what's going on with the killer, and the missing people, and the blah blah blah, and the paintings, and the cutting of the backs. Interesting episode. I
I was really just fucking losing interest when I started this. I was like, if I wasn't reviewing this, I would have dropped this show. I really would have. But I'll give this episode a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's pretty good. Because mostly I'm just like intrigued to see where it goes. But that being said, we have 2 episodes left. Thank you for watching. On to the next episode. Beautiful Bones, episode 11. Holy shit, this was a big episode. In this episode, we have Sakura. She is getting behind the investigation. The one girl who's part of the 3 sisters, she basically finally comes around and says, I know where we can find the missing person. They go to the missing person, and she's right where they said she would be. And basically, shortly after this, after they find the girl who again she's trying to kill herself, and she's just really unstable at the moment. Sakura basically is like, there's a dead body around here. And it's the final girl between the 3, the one who had been missing for a long ass time, and she is in the ground. And there's a lot of just stories about like how they came to this cabin, they were happy, and then suddenly they all wanted to kill themselves, and then one of them couldn't do it, and then between the other 2 they were like, you gotta kill me or I'm gonna kill you and then kill myself. And a lot of just really graphic. And so we finally figure out that the one unstable girl, or the super unstable one, basically, she was like, she killed the other one, and then made it look like a suicide. And you know, pretty dark stuff here. And then while all this is going on, the painter, mysterious guy, he's working in the background. He befriended the one who ran away, and he cut her back up and he brainwashed her. And Sakura was like, oh, fuck that guy, he doesn't love you. And then she tries to stab her. And then our protagonist, the boy, jumps into the way, and then blackout. And when we arrive, he's in the hospital alive, and Sakura basically says, I can't have you around anymore, because I have to finish this investigation with this guy. I'm afraid you're gonna die. People around me die, and I didn't ever want to get close to you, that's why I called you boy. And yeah, very well written, but very emotional and over the top at the same time. But and then the teacher, I don't like how they use the teacher. I don't like that. And we have a final villain. I didn't think we'd get that, but we do. And I'll give this one a 4 out of 5, but I was super interested, you know. Whereas like the episode before this, I was just like grudgingly getting through. I was like, this one I was like, damn, and you know, it was a good episode. That being said, we have 1 more left. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the final episode. Beautiful Bones, we have finished it. Yes! It feels so good to finish anime. It really does. Especially because I don't get to as much lately. But I finished one and we get to review it. Beautiful Bones. Sakura's Investigation. Episode 12. In this episode, we finally figure out how these 2 met. And there's 2 ways this could have gone. Usually it's a romance or a plot. And normally with these finalities in anime, it's plot related and then it kind of just cuts off. With this, we actually got a solid kind of ending to the romance. Not that this is a romance anime, but and usually the romance, even when a whole episode is dedicated to it, it's still fucking not resolved. We don't know shit about her fiance. He openly admits he's in love with her. They kind of both tell each other that they can't go on without each other. She calls him by name. And, I like the origin story. It was, it worked for what it was. He was in fucking middle school when he met her. And I think he's graduated now, so she's at least, 25, and he's, 18. Fucking... and that's at the very least. Good God. And the whole plot with the painter dude, that's completely put in the background. All we get is a little thing after the credits. So there's either going to be season 2 or it's one of those read the manga endings. And considering I don't think the series did that well, I think it's going to be considered a read the manga ending. And I very much doubt I'm going to read the manga. So this is where we will probably end. And that's unfortunate. I don't like that. But it is what it is. It's like, fuck, what can you do? Well, you could actually give a good solid ending. And literally the biggest thing we got was they held hands. Not even on the way home, they just quickly held hands, and that was it. But at the same time, the anime gets so fucking emotional, it really does. And, it made me get the warm, fuzzy feelings of finishing anime, and just there's so much crying, and just happiness. It's like, feel something. It's like hitting you in the stomach. Feel. I'm like, you could just, give me a full-on romance, I'd probably feel more. And they're like, no, that's not good enough. You have to feel based off of just dialogue alone, and really sad, happy music. I'm just like, okay, I'm crying, I'm sad, do you feel better? So yeah, that's Beautiful Bones. In retrospect, some big flaws, I had some problems, I really was losing interest, but we got through it, and the ending, the last couple episodes, the animation really stepped up, the story really stepped up, and by the end, it was kind of worth it, sticking through all those episodes. So I would say, it's a pretty good series. I'm going to start writing it. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, spoiler alert. But, that's... it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. If you actually watched all the episodes and watched them with me, I hope you enjoyed the series. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in, as always. With that, I leave you.